Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. Now in today's video, we do have something pretty exciting from Realme because it did came in at a very interesting price point. Now the Realme 9, as you can see from the title above, this was just launched a couple of hours ago and the pricing was actually very pleasing. Now what I mean by that is that the device comes in two configurations. You have the 6GB of RAM as well as an 8GB version. Both comes with 128GB of internal memory, but in terms of the pricing, it is $899 and $999. So again, pretty affordable here because it starts from under 900 ringgit here in Malaysia. And of course, there is also a flash sale going on just like all Realme launches, and that brings down the price to just RM829, guys. The Realme 9 here comes with a host of cool features, which I'm going to cover in today's video because I think it is definitely very worth this RM829. So before I begin talking about this video, of course, if you guys could just support the channel by dropping a like, subbing to the channel, that would be very much appreciated. With that said, let us begin and find out everything cool about the Realme 9. Alright, so first thing first, I do have the very flashy gold version here. Now the Realme 9 comes in three different colors. We do have this very fancy gold, we also have the black, and of course there is also a white, which I will show on the screen right now. All colors actually look very nice here, and I personally would prefer the gold because it just looks very unique and it has a very stunning, very striking look to the Realme 9. Now let me know which color you guys will actually go with, but this gold, guys, it is just standing so out among all the other colors that I've ever seen on the smartphone. So very nice color here on the gold. In fact, I think it matches very well with the background I'm currently in as well. So yeah, the gold is definitely a good pick. Now, in terms of the design, again, we also have matte back panels for all the three colors, and that gives it a very nice smooth surface, of course free from fingerprints as well, although I do have to point out that the black version here does tend to capture a little bit of smudges here and there, so the ones on the white as well as the gold here are a little bit less obvious. So again, I would choose either the gold or the white. Now apart from that, in terms of the frame itself, we do have a pretty nice frame here. The gold version comes in this silver frame, whereas the black version here comes with a totally black out device. In terms of the frame, we do have your lock button on the right. You have your headphone jack. Yep, the headphone jack is still here on the bottom. Your Type-C port and a single firing speaker. Yep, unfortunately, we only get a single firing speaker. It's not that loud. It's all right, I would say, but of course, I would have hoped for a dual stereo speakers or something like that. But at this price point, again, it is forgivable because there are other cool stuff about this device. Now, apart from that, we do have your SIM card tray at the top left corner, and this is actually a very good one because it supports two SIM cards and a micro SD card slot. So of course, if 128GB is not enough for you, you can always just go and purchase a micro SD card and pop it in to get more storage in your Realme 9. So that's just in terms of the design. Let us flip the device to the front and talk a little bit about that display. Now at the front here, we do have a, I wouldn't say a small display, but we do have a 6.4-inch 1080p Super AMOLED display that refreshes at 90 Hz. Apart from that, you have a touch sampling rate of 360 Hz. That means that everything will register all your touches very quickly on the display itself. Now this is actually quite a good display here. Again, remember that the price is only RM829 or $899, and we do have this very contrasty, saturations are great, even has a brightness levels of all the way up to 1000 nits, so you can see the display very clearly even under very strong sunlight outside. Now, it's also worth pointing out that this device here, the display itself supports the Widevine L1. That means that if you are going to watch Netflix on your device, you can watch it in HD. So don't have to worry about that. Everything on here is actually a very good display. It's very smooth and I have no complaints about the display at all. Now, apart from that, I also found that Realme was very kind because they actually put in a fingerprint scanner right below the display. So it actually works quite well. It takes about close to 1 second to register the whole thing. It's not the fastest in the world, but again, having an in-display fingerprint scanner on a device that costs this affordable, I think definitely again have to give it to Realme for giving us these kind of cool features. Alright, so that's what you can get in terms of the display. Yep, one final thing is that we do have a tiny cutout for the selfie camera on the top left corner. I'm not sure if you guys have any issues with that, but that's just the selfie camera that you get at the front. Alright, so now let's move on and talk a little bit about the processing power, how it feels like to use this device and all that, because yeah, it's actually quite a decent device. Now, in terms of the power alone, we do have a Snapdragon 680 4G. In terms of just performance, the RAM itself is 8GB, my version here, and it's actually working quite smoothly. Now, in fact, I'm going to show you a very quick screen recording right now, as as I speak, so you can roughly get a good idea on how fast these apps actually launch. So you just have some kind of expectation as to the Realme 9. So again, I have started the screen recording right now. I'm going to just launch and see what kind of apps I have open. I'm going to close all the apps. As you can see from my RAM at the bottom here, I have 8 plus 5 GB because I expanded it all the way to the maximum so that I can get a little bit more RAM. Anyway, all apps has been closed. We're going to open a couple of apps here one by one. Definitely going to jump into Chrome because that's what I do the most. I'm always searching for weird stuff. So I'm just going to go to The Verge. This is one of my favorite websites. So we're just loading it very quickly. And this is the kind of speed that you can see for the browser itself. Now I'm just going to jump back and maybe check out the weather, for instance. Let's get the weather right here. It is 27 degrees Celsius. Thunderstorms are outside. Yep, pretty cool. We're going to go back and maybe jump into my favorite app here. Of course, that's Instagram. We're going to see how fast that loads. And of course, you can see it loads almost instantly. So again, this is the kind of speeds that you can expect from a device like the Realme 9. I'm just going to jump out once more and maybe jump into, for instance, Facebook, because you guys like to post a lot of stuff on Facebook. We've got that launched. Again, everything is just running very quickly. And once more, we're going to jump back into the Chrome because we want to see that web page, which is now probably loaded up and all that. But yeah, this is the kind of speeds that you can expect on the Realme 9. Jump into Spotify maybe, to hear some songs and all that. Let's just see, it's a bit loading right now. So yep, there you go. It's loaded up right now. Got my favorite Eminem song going on. And yeah, so that is actually the kind of speeds. Again, I'm going to jump back into my Instagram, see if I'm still at the right page. And yes, I am actually right there. So yeah, this is just a very quick look at how the device actually performs. In terms of the Android version, we are having Android 12 right out of the box. So that's also good news. You don't have to worry about, software updates and all that. One more thing I do have to mention here is in terms of gaming. Now, I did play Mobile Legends on the phone itself, and I was able to go all the way up to Ultra in terms of the graphics settings. So that's the highest, by the way, for Mobile Legends, and everything actually ran very smoothly. No issues with lags or delays. It's actually quite a decent performer. Overall, I'm not too concerned about the Snapdragon 680 over here. Overall, it's just a very decent experience on the Realme 9. Now, moving on, let's talk a little bit about the cameras at the back because we do have a very interesting triple camera setup at the back here. Now, if you take a close look, this looks very basic to you, but actually we do have a 108 megapixel main sensor, and the whole hoo-ha about this lens right here is that because it's using Samsung's latest ISOCELL HM6 sensor. So this is like a sensor for sort of like budget to mid-range phones, and this is the latest one. You also have an 8 megapixel ultra wide, again a useful sensor, and last but not least a not so useful 2 megapixel macro lens. Now in terms of photos taking and all that, how good is that 108 megapixel HM6 sensor that is claimed to be the latest from Samsung? Well, here are a couple of photos that you can actually see. I noticed that photos weren't too, exceptional. It didn't really exceeded my expectations and all that. It's still very mid-range looking, but it did quite a decent job at taking shots during the day as well as the night. I noticed that perhaps it's because of the weather outside. It's not so, blue skies and all that. It's a bit gloomy these days. So this is the kind of photos that you can expect. Everything on the screen itself are unedited. Now, in terms of the ultra wide itself, it's not to say the sharpest out there. I would say it's just usable, good enough for sharing with your friends, on social and all that. But don't really expect a lot of detail with that ultra wide. Overall, just in terms of the camera's performance, again, I can't say I was blown away by the Samsung HM6 sensor on the back here, but yes, it is still a very reliable sensor for something that costs under 900 ringgit. Alright, so that's just in terms of the cameras. Battery-wise, we do have a 5000 mAh battery in this really slim form factor. Did I mention that the phone is also very lightweight and it's also quite slim, by the way, guys? Just take a look at this, guys. Yeah, so you do have a 5000 mAh battery in here, and it supports that 33 watt dart charge. It does like 50% in half an hour, and it does like 100% in slightly more than an hour. So again, it's not to say the fastest, but it is up to the industry standards these days. Overall, guys, what do I think of the Realme 9? Well, I think if you are definitely looking for something under like 900 ringgit, even under 1000 ringgit for that matter, the Realme 9 should be something that you actually check out. It comes with this really cool display. It comes with the latest, HM6 sensor. It does have a very good display at the front here. Super AMOLED, 90Hz refresh rate, 360Hz touch sampling rate. Overall, just a very good display here. It also comes with the in-display fingerprint scanner if you like that kind of thing. And yeah, battery life-wise is great. The only thing missing here perhaps would be the stereo speakers. Otherwise, it would be close to perfect. But yeah, that's just the experience I have with the Realme 9, guys. All right, I think that's all I have to share for today. If you did stay to the end, thank you so much for that. Again, don't forget to drop a like and sub to the channel. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I hope to see all of you guys in the next one. Stay safe, everybody. Bye!